Hello, my hatchlings. It's Dragon Mama Gamer, and I'm going to be showcasing a new mod called Stargate Evolution. This new mod has been created by Drake BD, and I am being given a tour of what is being implemented so far in this mod by the Discord and Community Manager Rovik. Welcome to
Hey everyone.
welcome to the channel. Okay. So
Hey
let's get
everyone.
started.
How's everybody doing? Today we're gonna talk about, as you said, Stargate Evolution. So let's go on through some of this door in front of us and see what we've got.
Let's go. I'll go ahead and let you take point on this.
Yeah, go ahead, run in.
Okay. Whoa. There's a lot of stuff in here. So what do you think we should start with first, Rovik?
Well, probably the beginning points of the mod, which are the crafting stations.
Okay. Whoa. And what are these crafting stations?
So this one here is the first one, is the Atlantean crafting table. This is the first one you'll unlock. The second one you'll unlock later on is the Stargate crafting station. The Atlantean does not require any kind of power. The Stargate one, however, does. You can charge it by either a new item we've recently added, the Inaccurate Reactor, or later on in the game, you can get the tech generator.
Nice.
The Atlantean crafting table, if you would be so kind to open the inventory, we have razors, Jaffa, gold, regular, and ori. We have the crafting station for Stargate right at the second. We have ramps. We have 3 for ring ramps, and we have 3 for the Stargate ramps so far. We now have as I mentioned, the Inaccurate Reactor. That was a very recent addition of just this today. We also have 3 resources. We have the gold ingot, we have the Naquita ingot, and we have the liquid Naquita. You need the liquid Naquita to power the reactor. And you use the other 2 ingots. You use the other ingots to craft other things, such as Stargate.
Nice.
So if we power on the Naquita reactor, it has a nice little animation for it. If you want to get closer and turn it on and off yourself.
That's cool.
So that's our new Naquita reactor. This is the Mark I version. If you've seen Stargate and Stargate Atlantis, you will know what this is, and you'll know that there's a second one that will be coming later on. So now our crafting station to make Stargates is powered. So when we turn it on, it's going to look like this.
That's a really cool animation. This is cool. I haven't seen much of Stargate, but this is still pretty impressive to me.
So inside of here, we have several things. Right.
Sorry, I turned it off. Here we go. Access inventory. Sorry about that.
So right now we have several things, and we've basically only started the bare minimums, and we're still working on stuff. In artifacts, we have the Ezekiel. Those that know Stargate will know what this is. It's a 0-point module. It's basically an extremely powerful power source. Then we have the control crystal. This is not implemented yet. So your Stargates and your DHDs will not require this yet. It will be implemented in the future. Then we have rings. We have the Dual rings and the ori rings. We'll get more to that later. Under Stargate, we have the DHDs, the Iris, and currently just the Pegasus Gate. And for DHD, we currently only have the Pegasus DHD as well. For Iris, though, we have the Atlantis Iris, and we have the SGC Iris, and we will show that a little bit later. We have the Stargate, of course, and this needs Naquita ingots to craft. We also have something called a PDA. This is basically a remote control for the Stargates. So if you'd be so kind to take that out of the inventory and put that on your hotbar for me.
Okay.
We will get to that in just a second. So if we'll come over here, with the gates and ramps and some braziers. Okay, so we have
Mhm.
the regular brazier right here.
Mhm.
Okay, we have the regular one.
Mhm.
We have the SGC ramp. Okay, so
Yeah.
with the lights and everything. We also have the Atlantis gate set up. Now, how this
Mhm.
gate is going to work is you have to put the ZPM inside the trophy slot if you want to access the inventory and show everyone.
Okay. I see. ZPM.
Okay, so in the DHD in the future, we will need to put the control crystal in the DHD. It is not implemented yet, as I said a moment ago. So go ahead and open up the control panel.
Yep, I have it open.
Okay, so
Wow.
on the left side we have the gate control. We are aware of some of the spelling errors, and we are working. We have gate energy, ZPM energy. The gate energy will recharge. ZPM energy will not. We have close gate, toggle fast dial. So a normal Stargate has a kind of a slow dial. If you turn this on, you can make it go faster,
Mhm.
so you don't have to wait as long. Then we have toggle iris, and that's going to turn the iris on and off. And I'll get to show that later on. Then we have toggle public name. Not sure if this is implemented just yet. And then we have toggle connected gate iris. So if there's an iris in the gate's inventory on the costume slot, that is where you can start messing with stuff as well. So let's go, and on the right side, we have private and public list. Public list is if an admin, and this has to be a server admin, sets the gate to public, which means anybody on the server can use it. Now, in the
Mhm.
middle, we have the dialing. And one very, very important note for the current system for the Stargate, you absolutely have to rename your gates. You have to name your gate. Both
Mhm.
any and all gates you have to name. And you name it inside the DHD menu. You don't do it at the actual gate. And the reason is right now we don't have a system where it will identify a gate without it being named. So, for example, this gate says staging area 1 right
Mhm.
there. If you look at the private list, you can see staging area 1, 2, and 3, right? So,
Yep.
this is how you identify and list the gates on the server, okay? You and in the middle to the top left, you'll see an A and icon, A/icon. If we
Mhm.
click that, it switches what the gate address will show as. So if you get a little overwhelmed and confused by all the symbols, you can switch it to normal alphanumeric system. Okay. So we're gonna set this gate to dial staging area 2, which is the gate directly to the right of it.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
what I
go ahead and hop out of the inventory and I'll start the gate.
okay.
So as you can see, it's kind of a slow dial, right? It takes a while to dial. But if you'll notice and come look, you'll see that the DHD is moderately lit up. And each icon that and each symbol that it adds on as it dials gets lit up to an extra level.
Whoa.
Then you'll see the stargates open and activate, and then you can run through and come
Whoa.
out the other end at a different stargate. And that brings us
That's
to our next set. We are at the stone ramp, and we have the Goa'uld brazier. And that's the animation for the stargates to turn off.
that's cool. That
Now,
is really cool.
now open the inventory at the Pegasus DHD again. Now, if I turn on fast dial
Mhm.
and I dial the gate begin, that's what it looks like. So fast, you can get out your inventory back. So it speeds it up, I would say, around 5 times as fast.
Whoa.
And then you can also come over, open the inventory, and decide to turn off the gate. So watch the gate and see how fast it dials again. Watch the gate. Mere seconds this time.
That is really cool.
Now if we come over here, we'll see the next gate ramp and
Mhm.
next brazier. This is the Jaffa brazier.
Mhm.
And this is the SGU, aka Stargate Universe ramp.
Okay.
This is the ramp that you will see on the Destiny from Stargate Universe, the show.
Mhm.
Okay. Then we're done with the Stargates and the ramps. Not done with the Brazers. This
Mhm.
is the Ori Brazier. And then we start getting into the rings and the ring platform. The
Okay.
rings. So go ahead and run up onto the middle of that.
Okay.
Now you'll notice it just took you over to over here. We have 3 ring ramps.
Mhm.
Right now they're called Alpha, Beta, and Omega. I did not put a ring system on this for a specific reason. If I do,
Mhm.
these rings will go to the closest one to it. So if I put one on that, this here will come over here instead of possibly over this. Now these
Okay.
are Ori rings,
Mhm.
and these over here are the Gua'uld rings.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's 2 different designs for this. Now if we come over to the Ori ring,
Mhm.
this time you're going to watch and I'm going to be on it because this one has a different outside look. A nice glowing white is something fancy. Now, we're almost done with the rings, and then we can move on to something else. Now, you'll
Yeah.
come over here and you can see the sign that says Cross Ring
Cross ring
Transport.
transport. So
So,
that means that you can go from one, let's say, Jaffa or Gould. I don't remember. I don't remember the different ones.
Gua'uld to Ori,
To-
or Ori to Gua'uld, as demonstrated. So you're not
Mhm.
limited from one ring system to use to the same one. You can go across. Now,
That's good.
over here we have the irises. We have the SG1 iris,
Mhm.
and we have the Atlantis iris. Okay, so I'm going to activate and deactivate the SG1 iris. So take a
Mhm.
view on how this looks. Now I'm going to activate and deactivate the Atlantis. So as you might be able to tell, the SG1 is metallic in nature, and the Atlantis one is an energy shield.
Okay.
Now, the important thing to know about these is
Mhm.
if you are out and about and somebody tries to dial your gate, if it's set up where it can, if you don't have one of these on your gate, somebody can get into your base or get to wherever this is at. If you have this on your gate, they will die when they try to go through.
So it's an insta death, like in the show.
Yes, it is an instant death in this show. If you try to go through a gate that has an iris on it, it will kill you.
And what would you do if you wanted to come back to your base and you had an iris on your gate?
If you had it activated, then you would die. We are working on something that is basically like a garage door opener for the iris. Um, it is from the show itself, and it's the GDO, and it literally stands for Garage Door Opener. When you put in a code, and then if the code matches to the gate's iris, then it will lower the iris. It will lower it. It will open up your gate so you can go through safely. And then later, afterward, you could probably put in the code again to close it, or go to your DHD or whatever control center you have to close the iris in case something was chasing you pretty quickly or slowly enough. Now, there's one more thing, two aspects about the rings that I wanted to show
Okay.
and mention. Um, so if you name the rings, say this one is named just one, right?
Okay.
So if you name the rings, they will match over a longer distance. Then on here, you'll see that, and I've done this with testing. So these numbers are extremely accurate by 1 or 2 foundations off. The rings, if you name them, can reach to at least 60 foundations if programmed with matching names. So for example, if I take the name off of this ring system, right, now it has no name. It'll take us to one right here. Now if I name it back to what I had it at 1, it's going to take me all the way back over there to the door we came through. It's not 60 foundations, but it's an example.
I'm going to join you for this.
So we're back at the door. So
that is really cool.
So I will pause it here to ask some questions. Do you have for you to ask questions? Do you have any questions about anything that is currently in the mod?
Well, I mean, currently you seem to have answered any questions I've had. I mean, unless, do you think that there might be a way for someone to possibly use the rings to get into someone else's base? Or how would that work?
Most structures will still work as the tribe. So if, say, you're able to, if you were in a tribe of your own and you try to get and place something close enough to the base, even if you were able to put it right against the wall, it's not going to place because of enemy foundation. That could be something that could be tested and figured out later on. But if it does happen, then we will work to fix that, of course, because that would be considered a bug and exploit. But we don't believe it's going to happen.
Okay.
We don't believe that it's going to be feasible to attempt. I do want to mention something quite important. You have the remote, correct?
Yes.
So if you notice when you pull that out and activate, your character gets kind of stiff, right?
Yep. Here, hold on. Let me go to So I'm in third. Well, I'm in third person right now, so that my viewers can get like a fuller spectrum of what it looks like when you pull it out.
Does your character seem static and not dynamic, where it's not moving?
Actually, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference. It's not as static.
Third person, it'll look.
You mean
It should
you
look.
mean
It
first
should look
person?
kind of weird.
Yeah. In
Third person.
first person it's static, but in third person there wasn't any difference. In third
because
person, it,
we
it works
are
just fine.
aware that there is a little bit of a graphical issue with it, and
Mhm.
it is being worked on and developed.
Okay.
Now, speaking of development, we do have some things that are going to be in store for us pretty quickly. Well, pretty soon, I would say. Um,
Ooh,
no
sneak peeks.
estimated no estimated ETA on when they will drop as content into the mod
Mhm.
itself, but I can tell you we are working on several things already. Um,
Okay.
Give me just a moment so I can pull up some notes.
Okay. You did say that the GDO was going to be one of the things implemented soon. Well, eventually, right?
Yes, the GDO is something that is going to be implemented.
Okay.
No clear ETA on certain
Mhm.
things because we have to figure out and port in and recompile and redo different textures and 3D models.
Okay. What about
But
vehicles from the show? Do you know of any that are going to be ported into the game into this mod?
that's going to be the next segment that I'm going to mention. Right now, I'm going to talk about and mention the stuff that is in progress and being worked on.
Okay.
So right now, what we have in progress and being worked on is we've got some more gates and DHDs that are being added. Okay, so
Mhm.
some of the ones, and everybody is probably going to be like, well, yeah. Um, so the first two that are going to be implemented for the main system is going to be the SG1 and the SGU gate and DHD.
Okay.
We can compile a link or so to put into the description to show a couple of these spoilers and works in progress.
Mhm.
So all of that shall be in the description of this video. We are
Okay.
also working on the mini gate that was featured shortly in the series of SG1. We are also setting up some new ammo types that is going to be in the mod. We are going to have the ancient drones. We're going to have the mini ancient drones, and we also are going to have the uh, we're going to have particle bullets. They are going to look and kind of function the same way as Ronin's gun would work and function, but we're gonna expand it slightly. Um, Implementing guns and different animation models like that, like armor, weapons, they're a little harder to do than adding simple like ammo recipes. So we're starting with easier things to implement so we can get more stuff in sooner.
Okay.
Instead of doing a long haul, okay, we're going to take time to do a couple weapons. It's going to take quite a while to do. We're
Mhm.
going to try to get in some content at some kind of content tweaks, updates, fixes, at least around weekly is our goal. So the ammo types, besides the ancient drones and the mini ancient drones, we're gonna add a life energy ammo type. It's basically going to be a kind of healing ammo. And all of these ammos, besides the drones, are going to have three tiers. So it's going to be green, red, and blue. Um, Not in that order, but each one is going to either have a different value or different effect. So for life energy, the lowest level is green, and it's, for example, going to give 100 health. The next one is going to be blue, which will give 200 health. And the next one, the last one, is going to be red, which will give 400 health. Then we have the particle bullets. Again, there's three versions of this: green, blue, and red. Green is going to affect torpor. Blue is going to be like a stun and a freeze effect. And then the last one, the red one, is going to be HP damage. Similar to plasma charges, it's going to have the exact same effects but work with different weapons. In the long run, what we plan and hope to do is, for example, add in different energy weapons like Ronin's Magnum. We plan to add in for example, the Jaffa staff, uh, possibly the Azorian handgun, the Lantian stun gun, and all of these ammos, and the Zat gun, and all of these
Hmm.
different ammo types are going to tie in to those weapons in the long run. In the short run, we're going to see if we can tie them into the base default vanilla weapons like the assault rifle, the pistol, whatnot.
Okay.
Um, the next thing is plasma charges. It's going to have the same effect, um, but for different weapons, as I said. The next thing
Hmm.
that is currently still in progress and we're working on is different gate and ring pedestals, platforms, ramps. So basically, these things we see right here,
Okay.
these ramps and the ramps for the ring. Those are the other things we are still working on adding in.
Okay.
And then I've got a list of things that are confirmed that are going to be in the mod, just not currently yet in progress. Okay, so it's going to take some time to implement a lot of these because they're going to be some pretty big projects that we're going to be adding in for the mod. So we can already tell, you can already tell we are trying to push this mod further than any of the other Stargate mods have ever been.
Hmm.
So, some of the other things that have been confirmed that will be added into the mod is more gates and DHDs. So, a lot of fans have wanted and requested a larger Stargate. Um, but there's only two larger Stargates besides the normal three smaller versions of SG1, SGA, and SGU, which are the three different seasons for the show. So we have the Tolana Gate, which is a larger Stargate than what we see in front of us.
Hmm.
It's not huge. It's not huge, but it is bigger. And this Stargate, the Tolana Gate, which is the larger one, will most likely be what we use as the template for the admin and public gate, because we will be adding in an admin and public gate, that admins can spawn in, that are it's basically going to be impervious to damage. That is our goal. It does not have its own special DHD. Sorry about that. But it we will be designing it where it should work with SG1, the Milky Way gate, and the Milky Way DHD. It will work with the Milky Way DHD as we have done a recent rename of the gates and DHDs. We will
Okay.
also be working on adding the Super Gate and its DHD.
How big do you think the super gate would be compared to these ones?
Okay, so these ones are about four walls, uh, length and height. I would say that the Super Gate, to my current knowledge estimate, is going to be around 36
36
wide and
walls?
tall. Yes, 36
Oh,
walls,
wow.
wide and tall. So it's going to, the goal, as far as we've discussed among the team, is to make this super gate big enough to fit a Titan group, not a King Titan, but like the Ice Titan, the Forest Titan kind, the Titanosaur. We're working on getting it to the size that Titan would fit through. That's our goal. And for the Tolana Gate, we're looking at either T Rex, the UD, or the Giga for the size for that gate, somewhere around that range. We are also going to be adding in the Atlantis City DHC. It looks like the normal like computer desk, fancy computer desk. For those that haven't seen Atlantis, and as I mentioned much earlier in the video, we will be adding the GDO,
Mm-hmm.
the iris opener, the garage door opener, as the show so comically coined. We will also be adding one weapon so far has been confirmed. One tool. It is basically going to be a slightly more powerful electric prod. It is the Goa'uld pain stick that you see throughout the SG1 series. We also have a few more confirmed resources that will be added in. Um, Liquid gold, Goa'uld blood, and Wraith enzyme. We are going to incorporate these into our crafting line for example, needing Goa'uld blood to make liquid naquita and so on for that. The Wraith enzyme is going to be something that is going to be all I'm going to say for this moment is in a separate crafting crafting line. The liquid gold is going to be something we're going to try to figure out for some of the different things that look like they would have gold in them. For example, maybe braziers.
Okay.
Um, Now, you asked me a little bit earlier ago about vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I can confirm that we are indeed working on the puddle jumper. Now, I can also confirm that we are working on four others. Can you take a guess to what these four others might be?
Mm. I'm going to assume that one is the Death Glider.
Yup. We're going to be trying to get the Death Glider in. Similar kind of setup as the puddle jumper would be.
Mm-hmm. And then, what was it called? It was Wraith Dart, I believe. This what it was called.
Yes, we are
Is that
also going to be we are also going to be adding in the Wraith Dart. This one will likely take longer than um like for example the Gate Glider, which is
mm-hmm.
another one that we are confirming will be added into the mod. It will also be harder to implement than, for example, the F302, which
Mm-hmm.
again I am confirming that we are going to be adding into the mod.
Yeah, I believe you told
The
me a little bit about that earlier in Discord when we were trying to set this up.
Yes. The
Mm-hmm.
puddle jumper and the wraith dart are going to be the harder two and the more complex two to implement and add in, just because they have a lot more extra features. Like for example, the wraith dart has the suction ability, and we are going to see if we
Mm-hmm.
can try to use the tech skiff that was recently added from Genesis as
Okay.
kind of like a baseline for using that ability to pick creatures up that you would see
Mm-hmm.
in the show Atlantis and rarely in SG1, if I remember correctly. Um, we are also adding in again the Death Glider, the Gate Glider, and the F302. Um, all five of these vehicles we are confirming to add in to the mod. It will just take some time to implement them.
Yeah.
Another thing we're going to try to
Mhm.
see if it's possible.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
you told me something
there's
about like a raid
there's an
or
I
something.
yeah, kind of like how the OSDs and element veins work. We are
Mhm.
not sure yet if it is possible to implement, but we are going to see if we can figure it out. It was a suggestion that was dropped in and mentioned in our Discord, which will be mentioned in the description of this, in the
Yeah, there
description
will
of
be
this
a link.
video.
There will be a link to the Discord and the Steam Workshop in the description below for any viewers that want to give Rovig and Drake some love and show some appreciation towards this mod because it
I'm going
is
to
coming along great.
I'm going to try to pronounce this name of the person who submitted this suggestion because I like to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
It's only fitting. Um, but I apologize profusely if I butcher this name, and I most likely will. Um, Kenneth Khisantth. Kisanth. I am not sure how to pronounce this, and again, I apologize profusely. Um, so his suggestion reads off as wondering if it could be an option for interested people to be able to have random unauthorized gate activation, which could spawn some enemies if the gate was not protected by an iris. Again, this will play into how important having an iris on your gate will be if we are able to implement this.
Mm-hmm.
Like random optional raid events
Mm-hmm.
with, for example, random placeholder dino of, say, a raptor or a dilo can get spawned through the gate into your base. Or maybe a replicator if we can get those implemented too. Um, Perhaps this could be a way to encounter these creatures inside your base, or an option to the only way to encounter replicators.
And that would be terrifying, especially if you were able to make them anything like they were in the show. The first time I saw
Yes,
an episode that had
replicators
the
would
replicators,
be if we
I
were to
was
design and implement replicators, and it is something up in the winds. It is not confirmed or denied yet, but it is something that we are considering and thinking about looking into.
mhm,
Um, if we did something like that, they would most likely be able to damage tech simply because the replicators would try
that's what
to.
they did in the show.
That's what they did. They would go after the most advanced things first.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the ARC systems are set up and designed where they could handle and understand going after a certain tier of structure first. If that was possible, that would be very interesting and fun to see. So you'd probably be safer using a thatch hut than a tech base if we could implement it the way we the way we wish we could to match the show.
That is a
Again,
very interesting
this is
idea.
not confirmed. It's not confirmed gonna happen, but I can confirm that we are going to see if we possibly can set up the random events, the random gate activations.
That would definitely be something worth looking into.
Um, yeah, that would definitely be something fun to do. And then what's left on the menu is if you've got any questions. Other than that, we drop down the information for Discord, Steam Workshop, and donation link. And speaking of donation, all donations would go straight back into the mod to get, for example, textures, 3D models, and different assets to be used.
Well, thank you very much, Rovig, for giving me a tour of this new mod that is being created by Drake BD. Any viewers that happen to be watching, please go show these guys some love, donate if you can, and just check out the mod. It is really fun. I had lately not been very interested in playing ARK, but this mod is definitely getting me very interested in playing it again. Thank you so much for watching. And do you have anything else to say, Rovik?
I would want to see if you have any questions about the mod, any I don't know speculations, or if you're trying to get any kind of extra spoilers or something. But what I would say as one last standing thing is we are very closely watching the Steam comments, the discussion section, and the Discord server. I will most likely be the one that any viewers of this video will interact with on those platforms, on submitting suggestions, bug reports, normal, oh, I love the mod, or how about you, what about this, or where's this at? You will most likely be hearing from me as I'm going to be the one monitoring and handling most of that on a very consistent basis. Besides that, I would implore and love it if everybody that watches this gives us a thumbs up, favorites us, subscribes, gives some kind of donation if they can or want to. Every upvote helps us get more exposure. Same with subscriptions, favorites, everything helps us get exposure. We're trying to design this mod as the top tier, best ever Stargate mod that could be developed for ARK. We plan to add in a ton more content than what has even been discussed here. It's just we've got to figure out what and how we can implement things. Again, my biggest thing to implore everyone with is upvotes. If you give us upvotes, if you want to give us an award on the workshop, all of it is such a huge help and it is so appreciated. It is so helpful for us. Um, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, any ideas, you're free to put any in the comments, the discussions, or in the Discord. They are all taken into consideration with the same value and level. We have a very open mind, but one thing to note on that is we are trying to build this very, very closely to how the actual shows work. So if, for example, if someone asks for, say, a Stargate SG-1 gate bigger, we are unlikely to make a scaled up version because it does not match to what is in the show.
Well, thank you so
So
much for having me.
if it's in the show, we are going to try to implement it. The hardest part on being able to implement something or not is we don't have textures, 3D models, or assets for it, and that's what is going to take the most time, effort to hunt down and or create. I want to give a shout out to Drake BD as well as he spent 12 hours today working on the mod from wake up to go to sleep. He's been working on it. So high props to him, especially because I've looked at the ARC Dev Kit a little bit and it is not the nicest thing to work with.
Well, thank you very much, Rovik, for having me. Everyone, please send some love to Drake BD. Send some love to Rovik on the Steam and the Steam and Discord communities. And have a very nice day. Love y'all. Bye.